producer in the background, Glizzy.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all the new views and the new subscribers. If you like the video, hit like, comment, and subscribe. So I've been all right, man. My week was kind of rough, but it seems like I'm always having a rough week. You know what I mean? I got pulled over by the cops yesterday. You know, it was my fault. I went through a yellow light. You know what I mean? And you could question whether it was yellow or red. I wasn't trying to fight with the cop about it. I wasn't trying to argue with him about it. You know, I was just like, all right, you know, I haven't got pulled over in years. Whatever it is. I'll handle it. You know, I'll get a traffic lawyer and deal with it. So I was trained that when a cop pulls you over, you lower all the windows of your car so the cop feels safe, right? Now, I was in my older truck, and the rear window doesn't come down. You know what I mean? And the driver's side, we're like on like a local highway, so he can't come around the driver's side. So he creeps up from the back, and I see he doesn't come to the passenger. He stays to the rear door, and he's not walking up, right? So I'm like, whatever. So he comes, and you know, he tells me to lower the window. So I'm like, I can't. You know, it's broken. That window doesn't work. So he comes around to the passenger side, big brolic cop, you know, and he starts questioning me. Hey, you know why I pulled you over? You know, the same old thing. I was like, no, why? Hey, you ran 2 red lights. He said, because, you know, in Miami, there's US 1, and then there's a busway, and there's 2 lights right next to each other. So since I took the yellow, I technically, from what he says, I went through the red lights. So I'm like, oh, all right. And then I'm like, okay. And then he keeps on going, right? He's like, no, but you did that, but you did this, like very aggressively. I'm like, dude, I'm not arguing with you. You're in the right. I did. Okay. And he's like, all right. And license registration. I give him the license and registration. Then he starts talking to me about my window tints, right? So here comes the BS with the window tints. So I'm like, all right, what's up with the window tints? No, they're too dark. I can't see anything in the car. So from what I imagine, what he's thinking, right? He doesn't think that I lowered the windows to make him feel safe. He's thinking I lowered the windows because of my tints, and I don't want him to check my tints, right? That's what I imagine. So he goes back. He gets my information. You know, he's looking around the car. You know, he's very cautious, and he walks away. So I'm like, yo, why is he like tripping? You know what I mean? But whatever. He goes to the back of the car, and then I see what nobody wants to see during a traffic stop. The second cop pulls up. So I'm like, oh, great, you know? So now the second cop comes, and he approaches my car, you know what I mean? Like very tactically, you know? And I'm like, yo, they're doing so much, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm not a criminal. I got a clean record. I got my driver's license registration. Like, why are you guys approaching me like so defensive, you know? I understand they got a hard job, and Miami's full with a bunch of, you know, nefarious people, but not everybody's like that, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm starting to get nervous now, you know what I mean? Because they're like, they're circling the car, they're talking to each other, and the cops are giving me dirty looks, right? So now I'm getting like nervous. I'm like, yo, do I have anything in this car? Because I'm not getting out of I have to comply with whatever they say, but like, they're not just going to violate me right now if they want to. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you're not going to search this car illegally. You're not going to pull me out of the car. You're not going to search me illegally. I ain't going for it. I know my rights. I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, you know what, Chris, chill out, relax. So here he comes with the window tint thing, puts it on my thing. I'm like at 14% window tint. The law is like 12%, so I'm over. I'm like, all right, dude. They come back. They give me 2 tickets, so now I got to deal with that. If you guys got any tips on the window tint things, if there's any way I don't have to rip my tints off and then go and do that, leave it down in the comments. Let me get some advice on that. How was your guys' Father's Day? Father's Day passed. You know, Father's Day is always a hard time for me. You know, not recently, but, you know, it's been like 2-3 years since I lost my dad. So those are always rough times for me for Father's Day. But I hope you guys had a good Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? If you guys are fathers, happy Father's Day. I hope, your family showed you a little love. Moms get all the love. Dads really don't. Hopefully you guys got some new underwear, some new socks. You know what I'm saying? The Marshall special. But shout out to all the fathers out there, man. You guys deserve it. And then my freaking dog ate my Beats by Dre earbuds that I use to go to the gym every day. I come out, thing is in pieces, dog chewed it up. But when it rains, it pours, right? Fuck it. I'm not going to get all upset about it. I'm not going to get all upset about the rough week I had. You know what I mean? It's in God's hands. I'm built for it. But, yeah, it was a rough one. All right, moving on to the topics. Glizzy, well, how was your week, Glizzy? Anything like mine?
No, mine was pretty straight, dude.
Yours is good? No? I think I got to stay in the house, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I be doing too much.
That's what I do. I stay in the house. I live a great life.
I really be doing too much, dude. Between working full-time, going to the gym full-time, freaking coming up with, going on missions on my days off to, like, you got to go to the doctor's office. You got to go shopping for this. You need that. Like, I'm always outside, dude. I'm barely in my house, bro.
Yeah, I stay in the house, bro. I live a good life, too. I recommend it for everyone around my age. Yeah, safer.
Yeah, this is where it's safe at, dude. Yeah. For sure. My training went pretty good. I did deadlifts today, and I got a wicked pain in my stomach. You know what? Like when you do deadlifts, you lift that shit, and you feel like you might have pulled something in your stomach. Hopefully, I didn't give myself a hernia or nothing like that.
You've been getting brolic, though.
I have. I've been making them gains.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you could see it in your arms, dude.
Yeah, you told me. I know I'm doing it because, like, now a lot of people are coming up to me and telling me.
Yeah.
Like I've been working on this for a year, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, lifting heavy, eating as much protein as I freaking can. So to me, it's been a very slow process, man. That's one thing about fitness, bro. You can't buy it, bro. You have to earn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it feels good when people start recognizing it and they're like, yo, bro, you losing mad weight. Hey, you look really healthy. Hey, bro, you're starting to get more defined. You're getting cut up and stuff. Makes you feel good. Makes you feel like all the hard work is starting to pay off.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, I'm happy about that. You know what I mean? Besides all the bad stuff. All right, moving on. R. Kelly overdoses in prison, bro. Yo, I guess he wasn't BSing.
I guess not.
Last week he screamed out, "Yo, they're trying to kill me in here," and everybody thought, "Oh, he's just trying to get off like on some Tory Lanez type time." And then this week he ODs, bro. Damn. I would say pray for him, but he's an offender, dude. You know what I mean? So whatever God has in plan for him, you got to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have no sympathy for people like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
But allegedly he OD'd on some kind of some meds, some sleep meds and some anxiety meds. They said on the you got the story there?
Yeah, I got the story.
Yeah, pull up the story. Allegedly he OD'd on some sleep meds and some anti-anxiety meds, but I don't get it because you can get those in prison from a doctor. You could get Xans and shit, and you could get Ambien and shit in prison. I didn't know that, dude.
I did not either. You want me to play the news?
Is this the R. Kelly story?
Yeah, it is the news story. I don't really have the article. The article has too many ads.
Yeah, go ahead, play it.
And we're also following breaking news out of North Carolina about singer R. Kelly.
The artist, whose legal name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, was rushed to the hospital last week after allegedly overdosing on sleep and anxiety medications given to him by prison staff. In court documents, lawyers for the singer allege that staffers at the federal prison are trying to kill him. He is serving a 20-year sentence after being convicted of racketeering and sex trafficking in 2021.
Joining us now, NBC's Shaquille Brewster with the latest. So, Shaq, what specifically are R. Kelly's lawyers alleging here?
Hi there. Well, you listed that big claim from his team, essentially that prison officials are trying to kill him in order to cover up misconduct. And this really all goes back to filing an emergency motion from his team last week in which they asked the judge to release him from prison and move him to home confinement. It was in that document.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, dude. They're not going to release you for prison and put you in home confinement.
They might be able to put him in another prison.
Yeah, like minimum security.
Yeah.
That's what he needs because he ain't really a violent offender, but it's a bad place for his kind of offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's savage over there. But yeah, man, that's it. R. Kelly wasn't BSing. They are trying to take him out in there. You know what I mean? All right, moving on. We got the Diddy trial update, and Diddy's lawyers, they go to try to get it as a mistrial, right? Because of unreliable witness testimony. And it's true. A lot of the witnesses are backpedaling, go forward, saying they said something, then they say they didn't say something, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think that's going to work. You know what I mean? I think Diddy's cooked. And I was looking at, like, you know, it's been on the news a lot lately, and a lot of people have been talking about it. And, you know, like, he's a sick boy, dude. You know what I mean? Like, when you start looking at the freak offs and what they are, right? At first, I was like, all right, you know, just billionaires having, you know, doing what they do. You know what I'm saying? But if you start looking at it, like, it goes for 3 days, Glizzy. They get on, like, drugs, and they go for 3 days. You know what I mean? Now, we've all had good times.
Shit, I don't have 3 days of good
in
time,
the sack,
bro.
you feel me? Yo, you ever been with your girl and you know you laid down the law?
Yeah.
Like, you look at her, right? She looks like she's been through something, right? You guys both do. You know, you might be a little sweaty. You might be out of breath. Your abs might hurt. Her face is red. Her hair is messed up. Imagine 3 days of that, dude. 3 days with multiple workers just going at it. And he's watching. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really think that's too much about sex. I think that's more about
abuse,
pain and abuse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You know what I mean? And there's rumors that he was, like, in the Illuminati and stuff like that. And he harnesses energy from people like Justin Bieber and, you know, pretty women. So, like, you know, what are really his motivations behind that? You know what I'm saying? It's just something to think about. It's a conspiracy theory, but, like,
I think it's just too much money, too much fun.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. That's why I think it is.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, but I was looking back at it, and I was like, yo, that's not about sex, dude. That's about humiliation, right? You know, like, maybe, like, he was mad at her. He wanted to see her get messed up like that. I don't know. But to do that for 3 days is crazy. You know, 50 Cent baby mama, allegedly, they didn't name her, but everybody knows she was part of it. You know what I'm saying? And she did it with him, and then she admitted to other freak-offs with some NBA basketball players that are not going to be named because we don't want to get sued. But pretty high names, you know what I'm saying? Like, this seems to be like some kind of cult in the entertainment business that is doing this kind of stuff, man. You know what I mean? When we were younger, we heard of, like, Freak Nick, and we always thought, like, yeah, you know, these entertainers and actors are having their way in life and stuff like that. But I don't know, bro. It looks pretty sick. It looks pretty dark. You know what I mean? I don't think I'd want anything to do with that, dude. But, yeah. I don't think he's going to beat it. I think he's going down. What do you think?
I'm still skeptical, dude. It depends. Is he going to go away and they're going to throw away the key? I don't think so. But is he going to, he's for sure going to do some time. But I don't think that's the question. I think the real question is, what time is he going to be charged for racketeering? Is he going to be charged for running a criminal organization? Or is he just going to be charged with domestic violence? Yeah. You know?
It's really a domestic violence case.
That's what I think.
And it is a drug trafficking case because they got that white boy assistant who went to another state on his private plane and came back with some pills that he sent him to go get. So that charge is sticking. And the white boy is telling. Yeah. He's fully cooperating. So he's not going to beat that one for sure. You know what I mean? But, yeah, dude. Let's move on. Bro, World War III, dude. World War III is kicking off, bro. Iran and Israel been going at each other, like, off the chain, bro. Trump really can't stop it. He's getting criticized by the left and the right. And I understand, you know what I mean? You can't, you know, we support our president and stuff like that, but this is not what the American people voted for, right? We voted for the end of wars, not to be complicit in a new war, especially between two nuclear powers, because any way you look at it, Iran has got nuclear power. You know what I'm saying? They enrich uranium. They got plutonium. They use it. Obama gave it to them so they could get, electricity throughout their country and be a first world country. That was the deal. But, they've been harnessing more uranium than they need. And, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. It's scary. It's really scary, dude. Have you been watching have you seen some of the clips of the bombs going back and forth?
Yeah, I've seen some of the clips.
Yeah, dude, that Iron Dome failed.
Dude.
You see how fast those missiles come down from the sky, bro?
Yeah, that's
Lightning
crazy.
fast, dude. You know what I mean? Israel was cold, though, because they took out everybody with precision. Like, they took out their whole leadership, blow up condo buildings that they were sleeping in. Imagine you're just sleeping in your high-rise condo, and a damn ballistic missile comes through your living room window. Hold that. Boom. Scary.
Yeah.
Bad way to go out, dude. Bad way to go out. You know what I mean?
Probably a quicker way to go out, though.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Yeah, bro. I don't support that. I don't, you know what I mean? But I don't really think it was in our control. You know what I mean? I just think, like, Trump should have told them they were on their own with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we're not gonna, we told you, let diplomacy handle it. You know what I mean? And Israel overstepped that. And they said, no, we're going to do what we want to do. So if you're going to do what you want to do, then you should handle it yourself. Don't try to bring us into it. Because, we're trying to recover as a nation. Get out of this, better our economy. This ain't going to do nothing besides possibly cause a freaking nuclear holocaust and raise gas prices. Oh, but these are the bombs?
Yeah, these are the bombs.
Yeah. Half of those are incoming and the other half are outgoing, trying to catch them. You know what I mean? Boom. You see, they're getting intercepted. But see, look, boom, they land, bro. That's scary. Imagine you're outside Miami and you see that.
Yeah, it's because they're throwing so many bombs at once. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't understand how the Iron Dome. I mean, I get it.
It's
I
easy,
get the
bro.
concept.
It's easy. Somebody throws a rock at you, you throw another rock to deflect it.
Yeah, but
I think they ran out of the defense bombs, and that's why it was hitting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, I prayed about it, you know what I'm saying? And that's really all I could do, you know what I mean? But, yeah, he's getting criticized from the right and the left, and, you know what I'm saying? I totally understand it, bro. You know what I mean? I don't want this war. You want this war?
No.
Well, like, what the hell are we fighting over some freaking
Yo, you know what? No,
desert,
I'm not going to lie.
Desert freaking place in the Middle East, dude. Like, how does that affect us? You know what I mean?
I'm not going to lie, though. Like, if we go to war, I don't mind it. You know what I mean? Because those people have been screaming death to America for some time now.
Yeah.
And they're on the brinks, allegedly they're on the brinks of nuclear power. Like, I would want them gone.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's also, there's a stereotype of a group over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The radicals.
The radicals, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, bro. Well, Tucker Carlson called out Trump. You know what I'm saying? And I don't disagree with Tucker, dude. I think his criticism is spot on. Go ahead, play the tape.
I actually really love Trump. I think he's a deeply humane, kind person. And I am saying this because I'm really afraid that my country's going to be further weakened by this. I think we're going to see the end of American empire, obviously. Other nations would like to see that, and this is a perfect way to scuttle the USS America on the shoals of Iran. But it's also going to end, I believe, Trump's presidency and effectively end it. And so that's why I'm saying this.
What do you mean by that? That's coming from you.
Look, I knew Bush. I knew George W. Bush. We had, family connections to Bush. I knew Bush. Personally, I still see Bush sometimes. And, of course, he hates me, and he does because I criticized him on Iraq. And that war is the sum total, from a historical perspective, of his administration. But I knew him, and he had all kinds of plans for the things that he wanted to do. But once domestically, right, to improve the country.
Right.
And you may agree or disagree, but in his mind, he wasn't just about the invasion of Iraq in March of 2000.
Oh, no, he was going to redo.
So yeah, that's what he means by effectively end his presidency. It doesn't mean technically he's not going to be the president no more. It just means, our plans of improving the nation, you know what I'm saying, improving the economy, bringing manufacturing back to America. those things are going to be on pause now because we're going to get into the biggest freaking war that we've ever seen. You know what I mean? So, man, we can't support that, man. You know what I mean? But what can you do? It's out of our thing, dude.
Did you want to see what Trump had to say after Tucker Carlson's remarks?
Hell yeah, I want to see it.
Bienvenidos a Largo Honda, tu concesionario Honda de confianza en Florida.
I don't know what Tucker Carlson is saying.
You're saying that you're complicit in the war.
I don't know what Tucker Carlson is saying. Let him go get a television network and say it so that people listen.
And quickly, have you spoken to Zelensky before your bylaws?
And then he came out with a Truth Social post saying, somebody tell Tucker Carlson that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. Basically. Well, then why the hell did you give them, why did we give them freaking the right to start freaking getting nuclear power then? You can blame Obama for that. You know what I mean? All right, moving on, dude. We got some sports, bro. UFC Fight Night. Pull that up, bro. Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley. That was the main event, dude. Yo, if you put money on Buckley, you came up. You can't wait. If you put money on Kamaru Usman, you came up nasty. He was negative 225. And I even picked Joaquin Buckley. I thought he was going to be too big, too strong. Kamaru has been losing his fights. I thought his knees were washed up. You know what I mean? I thought he was on the end of his career. People hit me up. Yo, it's crazy. Like, people watch the show, and then they hit me up on Instagram like, yo, who do you got? Who are you picking for the fight? This and that. I picked Buckley. I was wrong, bro. You know what I'm saying? My boy told me, no, Kamaru's going to win. He's looking good. This and that. I was like, dude, his knees are washed. But he came out. He put on an MMA clinic on Joaquin Buckley. Yeah, he won, dude, by decision. Unanimous decision. It's too much wrestling. He was too strong for Buckley. Buckley looked inexperienced in there. He didn't let his hands go like I thought he was going to. You know what I mean? Got Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. I didn't watch this fight because I was watching it at work. A lot of things were happening. I missed it. But she won, dude. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Thug Rose. You know what I mean? She looks like so frail and skinny, but she be messing girls up. Girls stronger and, you know, that look better than her. But moving on to this, Andre Petrosky and Edmund Shabla. I don't even know his name. That fight sucked. It was boring. Now the Cody Garbrandt fight versus Raoni Barcelos, I did see that fight. I wanted Cody to win. You know what I mean? He fought good, bro. He fought honorably. You know what I mean? He lost by decision. You know, he started to fade in the later rounds. Lost kind of his speed. Barcelos, he kept on the pressure and he was wearing on Cody at the end. You know what I mean? So shout out to those guys. All these other guys, I didn't get to watch those fights. You know what I mean? I don't even know who half of those guys are, but shout out to them. Ben Askren is in, he was in trouble, dude. He had a medical emergency. You know what I'm saying? Prayers go out to Ben Askren. He's got some kind of lung issue there. He's going to get a lung transplant. They say he's out of a coma and he's moving his hands around and stuff like that. Prayers go out to him. Also, a new photo of Nick Diaz came out, and, bro, it's very sad, dude. You know what I mean? Buddy is, allegedly he's on meth. You know what I mean? And, yeah, bro, it's bad. Go ahead, put Nick Diaz meth photo. Allegedly meth photo. No, I saw it on the Instagrams, but they found him wandering in the street talking to himself. He said that he was just out doing what he normally does. Yeah, that's a picture of him there, but there's like a new picture out now. When that first picture on the right came out, that's when he was talking to himself, like on the ground, shirtless, being weird. So people ask him, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Yo, mind your business." But I saw a new picture today, and he looks like, you know how those people, when you become homeless, look like your skin starts to get messed up, your face starts to look sucked in. You know what I mean? He was one of my favorite fighters, dude. I'm a big fan of his brother. I hope that, you know what I'm saying, he makes a full recovery, and hopefully he's not going down the path that people are saying that he is. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see that, bro. That's very sad, you know? But, you know, that's what happens to fighters, bro. You know what I mean? They get hit in the head a lot. They get brain injuries. They, you know what I mean? After they stop fighting, they get into financial issues. So, I mean, it's a hard life. You know what I mean? Prayers go out to Nick Diaz about that, bro. The Panthers got the Oilers on the ropes, bro. It's going to be what? They're leading the series 3-2, right?
Yeah.
3-2. I don't know if the Oilers are going to be able to push it to a game 5. No, game 6, my bad. Hopefully we could get them out of there and we can bring that championship home. You know what I mean? Hockey's not my favorite sport, but it is a fun sport. You know what I mean? I actually grew up playing roller hockey in New York. In New York, it's big and it's fun, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's been getting. I've been seeing it a lot more. It's been
Bro,
getting
I'll tell
interesting.
you,
It's
if
been
me and
catching
you
my
go
eyes.
to a Florida Panthers game and we get enough beer in us, we'll have the time of our lives, bro. Bro, they crash into each other. The sound effects are dope. The crowd is dope. Sometimes they throw, you know, they fade each other with fists. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, another championship for Florida would be great. You know what I mean? What else? Kevin Durant is rumored to come to the Heat. And I'm not too excited about that, to be honest, bro. You know what I mean? They say he could either go to the Heat, the Spurs, or the Rockets. You know, he's 36 years old. He's kind of like at the end of his career. You know, he's still a good role player, and, you know, he still does, you know, what is he, that's his average right there, 26 points a game?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad, you know what I mean? But I don't think, like, he's going to bring a championship to Miami. We're still missing key parts. And if we're going to go with a full max deal or we're going to give up, you know, some of our key players, I don't know, bro. I mean, it's not bad. I would like to get a Kevin Durant Heat jersey. I would like to have him here. But I don't think it's going to really improve the team like that. You know what I mean? I think we're going to give up a lot to get him. And I think he might be at the end. You know what I mean? He was, where was he recently at, dude? I think he was playing in, I forgot what team he was on. But he hasn't been able to do nothing. The Rockets, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
No, the Rockets is one of the teams we could go to, but I'm not sure.
All right. Well, let's see what happens, man. I want Pat Riley to make the Heat great again, dude. I'm tired of losing all the time. That shit sucks. But that's it, man. That's the end of our show. Yo, I appreciate you guys watching. Shout out to all the love, dude. Return love. You know what I'm saying? That's how we operate. Peace.